Give thanks and praise for life, you know, Selassie is alive. Yeah man, the land of the priests.
Greencastle Hill, the Stonehenge of the Caribbean.
2018 Winter Solstice Experience. Join us in Sun City, Antigua from Tuesday the 18th to Monday the 24th day of December. Come and bask in the mystic of the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. Come and experience sun, sea, sand, and megalith. Spend 7 days and nights in the heart of the Caribbean. Visit our national heritage sites, meet and greet our people, sample the local fruits and produce, plus the beach, banquets, lectures, yoga, and of course, Greencastle Hill. Greencastle Hill, Mount Anu.
Save our national treasure.
Blessed love, give thanks. Once again, we definitely welcome you into the Tiger's Nest, and what I'm going to do this evening, I'm just, checking in to remind you what is taking place and to see exactly how you are getting through as far as planning, as far as your preparation to join us in just a few strongs, that's what they say, in just a few weeks, right here in Antigua for the Winter Solstice Experience. So of course, as I said, this is the time for you to definitely make up your mind. I know my brothers and sisters all over the Caribbean are, trying their best to put themselves together to make sure they come up or down, whatever the case is, to Wadadli, to Antigua, to Anu, to definitely sup with us for 7 days. Remember, it is from the 18th of December to the 24th day of December. The Winter Solstice Experience, the first of its kind, right here in Antigua. And remember, 2 of those days are dedicated to Greencastle Hill. Well, really, the whole experience is dedicated to Greencastle Hill, but 2 of those days are specifically dedicated to the hike. The morning hike on the 21st, which is a Friday morning, and the evening hike on the 23rd, which is an afternoon, really, a Sunday afternoon. And that is the 2 days that border the whole period, that's 3-day period, which we would call the winter solstice. So, of course, again, many of you have not even contacted me, for you to get an understanding, a full understanding of the itinerary, and even what the package will cost you. You'd have to contact me. I know you may be saying, boy, I would like to come, but the money right now, I know a lot of people would be saying that, but you don't even know what I have in store for you as far as the package. The most you may have to think about really is you and how you're getting here and your airplane fee and all of that. But then now you'd have to contact me and I send you via email the package and the itinerary and exactly what it would cost. Now, obviously it will cost something. It means we're going to be having a big affair, but it's not as much as maybe you are thinking about. That's the point that I'm making. And as I said, we'll be definitely having lectures. Remember, we'll be having yoga. Those of you who will be coming from maybe the cold countries, definitely you'll be enjoying the beach and just the whole atmosphere of our island, of course, the food and the fruits, vegetables, whatever it is that is here. And remember also your meals will be taken care of, your feasts, I should say. What your break and fast and your lunch, and of course it's going to be of the highest of quality that we will have prepared for you, and everything else will be in order. Remember, you will be definitely meeting and greeting the people, the banquet, as I said, the lectures by our griot Paddy Simon. He will definitely be lecturing us, our archaeologists, our historians, our activists. It will be such a joyful experience. Of course, I myself will be giving a few different presentations, and it will be joyful. And of course, the main event, us going up to the summit of Greencastle Hill to experience the morning sunrise and the tranquility thereof, and then the Sunday, the down setting, to experience the sunset and the festive activities that we intend to have even on that very day. And there's so many other things that will be added to the whole experience. It's just about you coming and seeing. So again, as I said, you'd have to contact your travel agency or your Friendly Skies Airlines, and outside of the direct accommodations, we will also guide you through that. But outside of the direct accommodations, as I said, once you email us, we can send you all the information that you need to know, even as far as your accommodations, depending on what you would desire. We can send you all the information that you need to know, as far as the package that we have for you, which includes, pardon me, our activities and even down to your food. The package is set, I honestly believe, well inexpensive, well reasonable, definitely for as I said, this whole event really is to bring an awareness to the sacred treasure in this island known as Greencastle Hill. When you understand not just its location and its beauty and its characteristics, but the connection with the rest of the ether and the rest of the universe and the rest of the cosmic. That is what's outstanding. Plus, we're going to couple now that with the fact that it is being destroyed at a rapid pace. So something's wrong. There's not a balance here. Something just not making sense. But it makes sense when you understand that it involves a lot of dollars too. So all I'm saying, I'm really looking forward to you, my brothers and sisters, wherever you are. If you haven't made up your mind yet, now is a good time to make up your mind, man. Trust me, it will be something, the whole experience for sure, it's going to be something you will remember forever. It's going to be documented as well, so you may see yourself on some sort of documentary in the future. But the point is, it is going to be something that you'll full joy. I'll be really honored to entertain you and to have you as my guest, and just to bond with the people that has been bonding with me even through the YouTube and through the internet and through the radio stations and whatever else. It will be a real great experience and a pleasure really for me, for my heart, to entertain ones. And I'll be also very appreciative for those who really found it important enough to leave from wherever you're leaving, and those who have already packed their bags and are already on their way. I'm already thankful for those who will already be coming, leaving their home and aboard and whatever else they may be leaving behind to spend 7 days with the Honorable Priest Isaac, and of course Antigua and Greencastle Hill. And as I said, we have so many little different things we have planned for you. It's going to be a great time, straight up. So of course, send me an email, priestisaac27@gmail.com, and let me send the itinerary to you, and of course the package and everything else. And what you can also do as well, I've asked you this before, you can go into the description below this video, the description below, and you will see the link to the ad that you see on this same video as well, the ad directly dealing with the hike to Greencastle Hill. And if you could share that ad for me, I'll be very thankful. If you could share it on your social links, your social network links, whether it be YouTube, your WhatsApp and Facebook, whatever else you're into. MySpace. Yeah, MySpace. That's still around. Whatever you may have, you could send it out. I'll be very appreciative. That would really, that'll really touch my heart to know that you would assist me in that way. Plus, I also have in the description below the link for the petition. And remember, the petition, really, we're looking for 10,000 signatures, e-signatures from, 10,000 different people. So we're really asking for your assistance with that as well. And after we get a certain amount of signatures, we will really present that petition to the authorities, those to whom it may concern, let us put it that way, to show that there is strong support internationally for the cease and desisting of the destruction of Greencastle Hill. So for those who have signed so far, when was it I on it last? I think it was maybe about a day or so ago, but it jumped from 10 something signature, 109 something to 140 something. So I'm very thankful for those who have already took it upon themselves to go onto the site and sign up. Wonderful. Again, you could share that site with your friends and family, and you could share the ad. Remember, the ad is very short. It's a short ad, 57 seconds or so it wouldn't take up too much of your space, much too much of your time as well. And I'll be very thankful for that if you really would like to contribute to the mission. So give thanks again, looking forward to you, no matter where you are. You know, especially my brothers close by, my sisters close by in Anguilla and St. Martin, in Jamaica. You know, I know these people trying to make it hard for us to connect, but once you can connect, catch a plane and come, catch a ferry and a boat and come. Brothers and sisters in Africa, sorry I have to make you leave home to come around here, but still catch something and come, man. You get to go back, don't worry. I'm very thankful. South Africa, Botswana, Ghana, Ethiopia, wherever you are, come and visit us right here in Antigua just for 7 days. You're going to have a wonderful time, a wonderful experience, a spiritual experience. And remember, the main event is Green Castle Hill. Canada, United States, New York, wherever you are, Belize, Brazil, I have people listening from all over the world, and several people already coming from all over the world, you know. Austria and Germany and England and Barbados and these different places. You know, so wherever you also may be and you're listening to my voice, and you can definitely make it to join us for the winter solstice experience, it would be a joy. Trust me, it will be uplifting to you, and it is for a good cause as well, because it is something that is going to be documented, something that we want, again, those to whom it's concerned, to see that there is interest, strong interest in the preservation of this sacred treasure, which is Green Castle Hill. And I know the little that you've seen through the books that I've written, Anu, Ancient and Modern Revisited. Remember, you could still order that book as well. It's also available, Anu, Ancient and Modern Revisited, which goes into Green Castle Hill as well. And you've seen the documentaries and everything that we have done. So even from a distance, you could see there's something special here, something that should not be disturbed. So it will be good, again, to those whom it concerns, to see for themselves that there's appreciation internationally, because we're all, you know, one people. You know, it may be this land and that land, but it's the earth. You know, it's the earth. So we're thankful for the support we've already garnered so far, and give thanks for the support in the future. Give thanks to those who will be coming. And this is just a joy, you know. I'm really looking forward. All you have to do again is to email me, priestisaac27@gmail.com. Wonderful. So now you can join the program that has been set for you this evening, coming straight from the Shock of the Hour. And remember, you can subscribe one time to the Shock of the Hour radio program, Rastafari. Yes, wonderful. Give thanks again, of course. The Shock of the Hour radio, Anu, the international flavor. We're talking about the universal spice. Definitely cannot be conquered. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. And we're going to go straight into what we have to deal with tonight. Now, of course, remember previous program we were speaking about the world's view of Haile Selassie I during such a time. Meaning, of course, the time from the coronation of Haile Selassie, even prior to the coronation, even up to the time when they said he disappeared, even up until now. But we were definitely, you know, primarily looking at his time amongst us, Emperor of Ethiopia, and exactly what was the world's view of Haile Selassie I. So for those who may have missed that, of course, it's definitely in our archives. We spoke about the speech that Kennedy gave as it relates to the visitation of Haile Selassie I. We spoke of Billy Graham when he had to introduce Haile Selassie I at that conference. It was in 1966, Berlin. And even to pick a head of state to open such a conference, as Billy Graham clearly said, he thought of a few, but one person just kept coming back. So we also even showed clearly, without a doubt, the part that Haile Selassie the first played as far as stopping several wars in Africa and around the world during his, let's use the term, tenure amongst us as that visible figure as the Emperor of Ethiopia, but forever Emperor of Ethiopia. So we're going to continue that this evening. We're going to have a wonderful program. I did promise you that we will be highlighting an interview that was done, the Meet the Press interview. Well, let us see. And even if I don't get to that, because I want to highlight that Lion of Judah documentary first, and there's some serious things said in that documentary that I would like to speak of. And if the time goes or not, we're just going to do a third part, because it's a very serious and a very important subject area. All right. We have the Honorable Prince Al-Masih here with us. Blessed love, my Lord.
Blessed love.
And we have the Honorable Princess Acacia Menin. Blessed love.
Blessed love.
Okay, do give thanks for your presence with us. Of course, you know the key Swahili word of the day, as I said before, even the scientific fact of the day, and keep in mind that we are looking to launch Youth University. The Honorable Prince and Princess definitely doing a lot of works even behind the scene, as you know, even preparing literature, manuscripts, books. Don't forget that we have that book entitled the Great Kings and Queens of Africa. That's what his name.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely put together by the Honorable Prince, Princess, even myself. And of course that is available for the young ones, on an E-level, e-book. So we give thanks to the works that they are also doing in many different realms. And just like an adult, you know, the life of a child is also active, and many things that have been set in place just to make sure that they can consume the knowledge that exists in this world today, you know. So sometimes you hear them and sometimes you don't, but give thanks for their presence with us. I ain't going no more with that. Honorable Princess, what do you have in store for us today?
Blessed love, good day to everyone. Jambo, today we will be doing a Swahili quiz. I hope you studied really well. Remember to write your answer in the comment section below. There will be 7 questions.
Okay.
Let's begin.
Let's begin, please.
What does Jambo mean in Kiswahili? How do you say how are you in Kiswahili? Can you count from 1 to 10 in Kiswahili? If so, you can count it in Kiswahili in the comment section below as well. How do you say thank you in Kiswahili? What does samahani mean in Kiswahili? How do you say pardon me in Kiswahili? And this is the bonus. Habari can be used in both casual and formal sentences. Is the answer true or false? That is all of the questions for tonight. And remember to type your answer in the comments below. Query to Anane Tena. Bye. See you again. I will be waiting for your answer.
So give thanks, Honorable Princess. So the audience got that now. So listen, Prince, you know, we have to really give thanks to the Honorable Princess. She has been doing this Key Swahili word of the day basically for a year now, and she started us from scratch, from Jambo to Asante Sana. You know, she just came off of a few programs directly dealing with the numbers alone, and I know that we have listeners, we have our international audience as well, even when we put our videos on YouTube, and we tend to put this on YouTube. That's why she said write your answers in the comment section below. But I'm telling you, the audience of YouTube and YouTube alone, I'm telling you, you've missed a lot. For the Honorable Princess comes regularly with this knowledge and information. So now she's brought it to the level where she's giving us a quiz. So we're thankful, and even you, Honorable Prince, just a few strong ago, you also gave us a quiz from one of your episode dealing with the heart. But anyway, we don't want to waste no more time. So let's get this straight, Princess, just for a quick movement, because you know the clock doesn't stand up, and well, the clock does stand up, but time doesn't, you know, hold up. So let's get it straight. So you want our audience now to answer the questions that you asked. Okay, now we have a subscription audience too who will be hearing this. Maybe, well, maybe days, maybe even weeks or months before the let's just say the international audience through YouTube and Facebook hears it. So for those listening via our subscription and even those directly listening to us at this moment, well, you could send the answers through our email. You understand? So the questions are, once again, what does Jambo mean in Kiswahili? Is that correct? Tell us the questions again one more time, Honorable Princess, please.
What?
So you should be writing them down, you know, or yeah, that's my sister.
What does Jambo mean in Kiswahili?
Okay.
How do you say how are you in Kiswahili?
All right.
Can you count from 1 to 10 in Kiswahili?
Okay.
And as I said, if so, you can count them in Kiswahili in the comment section below.
Okay.
How do you say thank you in Kiswahili? What does samahani mean in Kiswahili?
What's that word again?
Samahani.
Samahani. Okay, you covered that before, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you sure did. Yes. Number, which one? 6 we are? Yes.
How do you say pardon me in Kiswahili?
All right, that's not a trick question. How do you say pardon me in Kiswahili? You getting that, audience? And number 7, you said that was a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, bonus.
It said habari can be used in both casual and formal sentences. True or false?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Princess. Again, you can definitely email us, priestisaac27@gmail.com. And even when this goes on the internet, you know, in whatever comment section is provided for you, those who have been following along, you could, you can give your answer to the Honorable Princess and listen. I mean, this is the Honorable Princess taking this up. It may sound funny, I didn't tell her to come and do this, you know. And she took it up because of the African heritage culture that she knows we deal with, and took it upon herself to learn the Kiswahili, you know, and even to do this program and this show. And let's just say she's extremely special. So we give thanks for that. Honorable Prince Almasi.
Blessed love.
Give thanks for your presence. We're going into that subject right now. You will be delivering a scientific fact of the day for us today, or you will be. Okay, well, you know, microphone is yours.
Blessed love. Welcome to the scientific fact of the day. I am the host of the scientific fact of the day, Honorable Prince Alamasi. And today's topic we will be speaking about the lungs, also called the respiratory system. The respiratory system includes the trachea, the lungs, and the diaphragm. How does the respiratory system work? When you take in air from outside or inside your house, that air comes into your lungs like a big balloon. Those look like a big balloon.
Wow.
And the diaphragm presses downwards. And then when we exhale, the diaphragm contracts and pushes up to let the air come out. Blessed love. Blessed.
Oh, that's it. Oh, give thanks for that. All right, okay, all right. Give thanks. We're gonna have I know you have more. Yeah, you were briefing me earlier. And I don't know. Don't let me run you off stage. You know, you were briefing me earlier, and you had a bag of things to say. So, I mean, the floor is yours. You're saying and.
And
I'll
we're
read all that stuff. Go ahead.
well, we were going to have a part 2.
Well, it's up to you. Go ahead.
Well, since we're going to have a part 2, that's going to be tomorrow.
Okay, so you leave that. All right, my lord. Give thanks. That's how it is. Live and direct radio. You know, this is we call raw. No editing, no cutting. This is just straight to the point. Yes, yeah. Trust me. He gave me a briefing earlier of exactly what he would talk about if he decides to do the key. What you do there? Give thanks. Scientific word of today. And trust me, I'm telling you. Scientific
facts of today.
Okay, well, there you go. Scientific facts of today. And trust me, he had a truckload more of information there, and I know he's holding back, but it's all right. It's modesty sometimes. Give thanks, Honorable Prince, you know. I mean, as I said, you know, it's the same here as such, you know, taking up the time to study upon by himself as well to gain such knowledge. And, you know, I'm really inspired, of course, as far as the scientific aspect of it. Well, we do instill that, you know, within the child. I mean, it's ABC and 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. You can move beyond that, you know. You don't gotta wait till this grade and that grade to be learning about this aspect of science and that aspect of science. Get telescopes and get microscopes and because science, Marcus Garvey clearly says it's religion and science. Religion and science. And I know when the king say religion, he's speaking of, you know, the theology of God and being close to the Almighty. Religion and science. So hey, give thanks for the language, princess. Give thanks, my lord, for the science. And let's get into the religion now. Yes, so we're just going to go into this. As I said, the first part of this program, if you were not here with us, and it's definitely there in the archives, it's available. And we spoke about, again, the view that the world had. And as I said in that program, when we were younger, we always heard of Haile Selassie. We always heard of Haile Selassie have the people in Ethiopia starving and feeding his lions. That was the big thing around. Oh, you're right to do your face, princess.
That can't be right.
I mean,
he takes care of all of the people in his country,
exactly.
especially children.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So this is what I'm saying, that we have been taught that by our, even our old parents, that Haile Selassie was this wicked man, and he used to have the people starving.
And Idi Amin was this wicked man.
And so that is why the people have turned against him. So you got a lot of different aspects of this argument. So what we did in the previous program is that we took the time to highlight certain individuals, leaders specifically in the world, and not just to say the leaders, but the basic world view across the board as it relates to Haile Selassie I at the time. Because a lot of the propaganda that we got was really, you know, put together for us in the Caribbean chain islands, you know, trust me, and Central and South America, Latin America, and the United States and Canada. And yeah, it was geared at us so that we who were far away from the action on the ground in Africa, we just, you know, follow what the slave master tell us. Oh, he feeding his lion and people starving. I mean, but then when you listen to the across the board thought of the day, it is nothing like that. We were listening to a documentary when the narrator was highlighting that Haile Selassie I himself, after stopping the war in Biafra and the Congo, the Congo, you know, man. So the Congo that we have to get today, this war-torn Congo, history don't teach us that there was a lull in that battle. And it was at the presence of Haile Selassie I. And he stopped the war between Algeria and Morocco. And in that documentary, The World Tour, the narrator clearly showed you that the whole of Africa rejoiced with his leadership. And Africa under his leadership has shown the world how to cease war and stop fighting amongst brothers. Wow. So even John F. Kennedy clearly showing you that nobody coming around here again of the level and the stature of Haile Selassie I, that shall bring us such pride and satisfaction than your presence here with us today. You're most welcome Your Imperial Majesty, them kind of shots. Kennedy licking out, saying nobody else coming around here. Nobody remember the Queen of England and Pope and so done visit that since the King of Kings go there. And Kennedy already show Haile Selassie, I don't care who coming after you. Nobody coming around here that can play with you. Straight up, that's what he said. The point is, and I'm going to be going to some programs, in the upcoming programs, directly showing you historically, point by point, how just the historical movements of Haile Selassie prove to you that he is, and I'll use the term, I'll pick the correct term so no one can confuse what I'm saying. He is the Most High. The example that we showed in, not the Master of Ceremony, what's that thing we just did? Is Haile Selassie amazing? You always hear me talk about that. If you understand that documentary, that video lecture that we did, trust me, a lot of the questions that you see we even answering, you don't even have to go into that, because therein lies the answer. Remember, we highlighted in that documentary showing you, we took time to show you the history of the Knights of the Garter and the position that the Prince of Wales holds in the Knights of the Garter. Not just the ceremony, but the order itself. The Prince of Wales, whoever he may be, is really the head of the Knights of the Garter. So the Prince of Wales, who is Prince Charles at the moment, has a certain position that he holds in the whole ceremony of the Knights of the Garter. That's it. He holds it every year. Next year, he's going to be in the same spot walking again. They have people around the world that are members of the Knights of the Garter. They don't live in London. And they come to the ceremony sometimes, especially world leaders. And when they come to the ceremony, they find a nice space for them. Sometimes, depending on who you are, you get to walk with the knights that trail the procession of the royal family. You understand? I wonder if you're getting me good. And right there now, in the keep in mind, Haile Selassie is a member of the Knight of the Garter since 1950 and plus. He's only been to the ceremony once. You think Haile King don't have no time to be in them kind of foolishness, but he just decided to go one time. Just like a few years before he came off of the scene. Maybe it was to make a supreme point. Because when he went to the ceremony of the Knights of the Garter, Prince Charles had to come out of the ceremony. He literally came out. Anybody who has the long version of that, I don't see it on YouTube. We used to have a CD with it, a DVD, but I've lost that. The documentary was called Ethiopia Stretched Forth Her Hand. And it shows you the full length of the, of not the full length, but much more than you find on the internet. It was basically talking about what you call it, the visit that Haile Selassie had at that time to Queen Elizabeth when he met Prime Minister Heath. Idi Amin liked to talk about Prime Minister Heath a lot. Mr. Heath has to come and talk to me. Yeah, that's the same Mr. Heath. Haile Selassie the first went and visited them and everything. And it was, they show you the ceremony in a good length. You see when the knights are marching through the streets and when they go into Windsor Castle and when they come out, which is that same thing that the same clip that we have courtesy of Associated Press that we use when we did the video lecture. Is Haile Selassie the first amazing, and I'm saying so many things. The main point is, sometimes you have to say all of this so everyone can understand. It's not as if you're speaking to one person. It's not like if it's just you I'm talking to, and well, I ain't got to tell you all of this. Yeah, fair enough. Some people need it. Some people don't even know what I'm talking about when I refer to other documentaries. This is the first time they're hearing us. So we just gotta, make sure everybody understands it is comfortable. Prince Charles came out of the procession and he was walking. Watch the whole video. He was walking alongside the procession. He wasn't in the line. Like when you're in school and you have to get in the line and march single file. Yeah, he was out, He was just, and he wasn't moving with the flow. He was turning around, speaking to certain people on the side. If you watch the whole video, meaning that at least I myself, I haven't been present at the Knights of the Garden ceremony, and I haven't seen all, but I took my time to research it, to find as much documented visual of that, whether it be pictures or videos of the march, the Knights of the Garter ceremony, and where the Prince Charles is supposed to be, especially during the time of the Queen Mother. He's always there. The only time he came out of the ceremony was at the visitation of Haile Selassie I. I know it's a long way to go to make a point, but to me that's a super point. The only time that Prince Charles come out of the ceremony to walk on the side and walking on sidewalk as if he wasn't in the procession was when Haile Selassie I came. So how he give Haile Selassie his space? Remember, he's the head of the Knights of the Garter, Prince Charles. Greater than Solomon is here, man. As I always tell my brothers, especially those that like to say, oh, no Solomon exists and no David exists, and we can debate about that forever and ever. I mean, sometimes I kind of understand why you come to this conclusion, but I don't have no time to be swinging like a pendulum, guessing like, wow, you might. Remember, I have the answer for this, man. You don't know how it's going to be. I'm not afraid nor ashamed to say I have the answer for it. I could tell you who the real Solomon is in history. You know, maybe one day we'll get there. We have many other things to speak about. You know, his name necessarily doesn't have to be Solomon alone, because no great king have no one name. You know, understand? No great king have, you know, this is King Saul and the story done. Nah. Extended names. But anyway, remember that these people revere Solomon. They worship Solomon. And Haile Selassie represents the ancient Solomon, greater than Solomon. That is why I said he's not even the Grand Master. He is the great architect. That is what they worship, not Solomon, you know. Solomon is the Grand Master. The great architect is God himself. And that is the level, that is the standards that they have Haile Selassie to. Do you know in 1967 or 69, I think it's 7, they crowned the Shah King of Kings in Iran? And we're going to do a documentary on that too, or do something we're going to do on that, because that is one of the most outstanding events in history. That event show you that Haile Selassie is the Almighty God. And I'll prove it. When they crowned the king, when they crowned the Shah King of Kings in Iran, it was a very big event. It was a splendid affair. Haile Selassie was there as well. I don't want to start to get into that as yet. When the Spirit comes to me and say, let's discuss that, we'll discuss that. But trust me, that is something for us to study, especially those of us who are Rastafari. We need to study that ceremony when they crown the Shah King of Kings. You see, you know. That's why I would even bring up from time to time that discussion I would have with Bingy Mike, because people comment on it, and you know, when Bingy Mike was saying that the throne, Haile Selassie's throne is Europe, give him that throne. I refuse to accept that. Although I know even some of I will say that Haile Selassie resigned his throne and it was Queen Victoria or the Queen and Britain that, and you know, that crowned him King of Kings, so he resigned that political throne to take up his heavenly throne and all of that vibration there. Listen, my point is, can get into all of that, my point is, Haile Selassie's throne, wherever it is, in heaven or on earth, ain't no European throne. That's my point. And I can prove that. Whoever gonna come with them talk, I can dispute what you're saying. I don't want to go too far into that now, because the time will come when I'm going to go into that. But now, when they crowned the Shah, the King of Kings, in 67 or 69, whichever one it was, that is your Babylon throne. That is your imitation throne. That's the throne Ras Mike was talking about. Because if you already have a King of Kings, why you need a puppet King of Kings? If you already have a puppet King of Kings, why you need a new King of Kings? What are you trying to tell me? Remember the economic hitman in Perkins done tell you we took out everybody but we couldn't touch the King of Kings. And I don't mean the Shah. I want you to listen to this because the previous program we were playing a lot of clips, not playing, we don't play around here. We were exhibiting a lot of clips. Yeah. Now,
these people are waiting for the appearance of a living legend.
now this might be a bit soft because this documentation as well quite old. I mean, when we were coming into Far Eye, the video that this comes from, we would watch this every day. You know, give thanks for all the documentation we had at our hands, our disposal. We would watch this every day and just marvel in the king, you know, marvel in the emperor. This is a BBC documentary. I want the people to listen to this now. This is a BBC documentary. So this is not a head of state speaking now. This is not a world leader speaking. This is just a BBC commentator, the narrator for this documentary. And so basically it's not the figure or the voice, but the institution, BBC, the British Broadcasting, what's the sister? Well,
BBC.
Yeah, company, whatever. But anyway, it's okay. We'll get to it. So BBC, I can't be. I don't know.
What? It must be broadcasting something.
With the C, I think it's company or whatever. Well, pardon me, BBC. I'll get your stuff right for you before we come off here. So, but the point is, BBC now is in charge of the information coming here. It is a propaganda video, straight up. I mean, they say some kind of things in this. You wonder what's wrong with them. They have a part in this documentary where the fella saying Ethiopia has no mineral wealth. I wonder if he's crazy. I said, Ethiopia ain't got no mineral wealth. Hold on. He understood what he said. If Ethiopia ain't got no mineral wealth, nobody have no mineral wealth nowhere then. Ethiopia with living volcanoes, you have a land with the living volcanoes, the highest peaks, the biggest waterfall, where the source of civilization began. And you're going to tell me no mineral wealth in the land? The fella said that, I'll find the spot and drop it for you. No mineral wealth of any kind. That's what the man said. No mineral wealth of any kind. You're crazy like a bat, but anyway, sorry, because the bat is not crazy. So anyway, listen to this. Sorry, bat. Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know what I said. Listen.
These people are waiting for the appearance of a living legend.
Now, let's just begin there. These people are waiting for the appearance of a living legend. Now, there are a few living legends in it, not just one. But the point is, to be a living legend is a serious thing. It takes a lot to be a legend while you're alive, especially when nobody expects you to go anywhere right now. And that is the case with Haile Selassie. Let's listen. I just want us to take this in. Follow me, family. Don't go anywhere.
Ministers of government, ambassadors and their wives, princes of the church. By now they've probably lost count of the number of times they've waited here at Addis Ababa airport for the same extraordinary man.
Same extraordinary
In a
man.
moment, he was stepped from the door of this aircraft to a scene that's even more familiar to him. And here he comes, the legend in person. One of the world's best known figures and faces, and one that most of us know least about.
Well, hear that. Now he's saying this is one of the world's best known faces and figures. This is 1970. This is one of the world's best known faces and figures. Remember, in 1963, 63. 63. This is 1970. In 1963, 60 when I say?
3.
In 1963, John F. Kennedy said about Haile Selassie, this is a man whose place in history, 63 man, whose place in history is already assured. Place in history means people are going to talk about you forever. Here is a man whose place in history is already assured. And I will say that, well, it is a shame that we can hardly find his place in history in the history books. If this man's place in history is assured, even when he was still around, on that level in our presence, so we could see him live and direct, you know, because he ever lived. And when I say live, not live it, you know, like alive. Oh, the Master Selassie live it and say it a kind of way. Say, yeah man, the king live it, man, because when I see you, I see the king. And when I see my brother, I see the emperor. Yeah, I agree with all of that, but no, that's not what I'm talking about. I mean the king alive. You could say what you want. How old the king be now? 126, 125?
It's 126.
Yeah, the king's a young man. Boy, just move out there. We have people older than that. Anyway, I don't want to dive too far into that. But I'm just saying now that as a living legend now, the Emperor of Ethiopia, he's saying it. Listen to this.
Father figure of modern Africa.
Father figure of modern Africa.
The relic of a vanishing world.
According to him, the relic of a vanishing world. You see, because the king came at a time between, as they say, yesterday and today. Listen again.
One of the world's best known figures and faces.
One of the world's best known figures and faces. His place in history is already preserved, is there, but yet still he is hard to find in the history books. That is why it is a crime. It is a crime for us not to find Haile Selassie I in a history book. We definitely have to do a part 2 for this, eh?
And one that most of us know least about. Father figure of modern Africa, and relic of a vanishing world.
So father figure of modern Africa. And then he goes on to say King of Kings, Lion of Judah, and all of that. Can't watch the whole documentary here. I want you to continue to listen to this now.
When just the ruler of a small African state, he's become one of the great survivors.
Okay, hold
More
on.
than just the...
I don't want us to take this, lightly. The words are very key. What I'm doing here, my audience, I am showing you what the outlook was as it relates to Haile Selassie I during his time amongst us in that form, because he's amongst us, so I gotta do my words all kind of things, so I don't want nobody to think I think in the other way. He is amongst us. Okay, listen to what the narrator says.
But Haile Selassie in his time has been far more than just the ruler of a small African state.
This is BBC, and this is a propaganda video, but he's still saying Haile Selassie in his time has been far more, much more than the ruler of an African state. You hear me? Haile Selassie has been far more, much more than just the ruler of an African state. Listen to this.
He's become one of the great survivors of our day.
He has become one of the great survivors. I'm sorry. Sometimes, I get a little passionate. This is Katama way of talking about life giver. The life giver. Nobody can come and talk no weird thing and bring the spooky God to us. The life giver, you say?
I think when you said survivors, it kind of sounded like cities.
Okay. Survivor now. If you follow the history it shows you why the narrator comes to that conclusion. We can talk, and this documentary, he kind of goes through that from the time of his birth, the Battle of Adawa. Then because at the time of the king's birthing, the Italian army was already on the borders coming into Ethiopia. Or like 4 years before Adawa, the Italians were already there. Rasmussen speaks about that. Because they saw the movements of the heavens and the constellations of the stars aligning, knowing that the Christ child was going to be born. So it was Herod again, trying to kill. It was the Pharaoh again, trying to murder the Moses child. And just, we got to just quickly say for those who may not understand, when we say Pharaoh, we ain't talking about the Nesut. We talking about the biblical Pharaoh, and put it in its right perspective and where it really belongs. Yeah. So I'm just showing you now that the king went through certain trials, even to the coronation of 1928 plus 1930, and then the Italian war that the world know about, and even after that an attempted coup and so many things. This is why the man is saying he has become one of the great survivors. This is a very important program.
The ruler of a small African
Here it
state.
is.
He's become one of the great survivors of our day and of yesterday, riding out in shrewd triumph all that the 20th century could throw at him.
Listen, man. You see, sometimes we get lost in the poetry. Riding out in shrewd, because you know what shrewd means. Cunning, you know what cunning means. Right. Riding out in shrewd. He was shrewd. He knows how to play his cards. He knows how to get out of traps. He's wise, smart. What's the word? Meticulous in his movements and planning. A true field marshal general. The power and might of the Holy Trinity. HAILE SELASSIE the first. Riding out. Hear what the man said. Riding out in shrewd triumph. Triumph means that you win. Triumphant victory. Give thanks for the victory. So he has gained his victory because of his wisdom, because he was shrewd, because he knew how to, pass through the minefields without getting, blown up. That's HAILE SELASSIE the first. He has become one of the great survivors. That's what the man say. Riding out in shrewd triumph. That means he couldn't just win over them, so he had to be smart.
All that the 20th century could throw at him.
Listen.
Riding out in shrewd triumph, all that the 20th century could throw at him.
All that the 20th century could throw at him. Boy, I love this poetry. He's trying to show you that all that I just, ran through there, what the emperor went through, especially when it came to the direct hand of the evil world. There was a lot of things thrown at him, let's put it that way. They tried from every angle to destroy Kadamawi, HAILE SELASSIE the first. And he conquered them. That's why we call him the conquering lion. This ain't no joke. This is not no make-believe. If the Bible didn't exist, it wouldn't mean nothing. This is the, I know a lot of man, I know. I didn't say nothing about the Bible. I ain't dissing the Bible. All I'm saying is that if it didn't exist, it wouldn't change a thing. The history alone, this isn't the Bible talking, This is a narrator working for a company that have writers and researchers that came together and decided that this is the right perspective to give the world. And he's speaking the truth, at least here. And what he's saying is that the king is a living legend. You understand? One of the world's great survivors, riding out in shrewd triumph all that the 20th century had to throw at him. I gotta sit on the point, man. We've been missing the point for a long time.
Today, Haile Selassie is courted by all the world. At his anniversary reception, the representatives of 100 nations came to salute the authority of this tiny old man.
Listen to that. Today he's courted by all the world. Now listen to this.
He was probably the first African leader to be treated by white men as an equal.
He is possibly the first African leader to be treated by white man as an equal.
Mussolini's excuse was Ethiopia's backwardness, that same medievalism that Haile Selassie himself
Okay.
hoped to end.
Okay, let's listen to this part here. There's a
He told
part.
his soldiers they had a civilizing mission. But his ambitions
Can you
dragged
hear
Haile
this?
Selassie straight into the 20th century.
Sure,
with
you
new
can.
barbarism. Hitler threatened the peace of Europe.
Hitler.
As
Okay,
the Nazi troops marched, Western statesmen quailed at the thought of a new war.
okay, they did. All right, hold on. So the Western statesmen quake at the thought of a new war. You gotta understand geopolitics. You gotta understand history too. Coming out of World War One, that's why the League of Nations was there, so that no more World War would come again. That's why it came into existence, the League of Nations, so no more World War would exist. So when Hitler, especially when Hitler decided to join Mussolini, that is what happened. The Western nations quaked, as the narrator said. So now you're going to hear Ramsey MacDonald, and this is the vibes. All of us know, most of us know, that Haile Selassie had Ethiopia in the League of Nations, and the League of Nations stood for what? Collective security, meaning that, one nation not supposed to attack the other nation. No more war. Basically, no more war. We don't need no more war. That's really what it was. And when Mussolini attacked Ethiopia, the League of Nations basically turned their back on Ethiopia. That's really what happened. So even at this time now, Haile Selassie I appeared before the League of Nations, had to really break it down and bring it to rubble, as we all know. So the point is now, anyway, listen to what Ramsey MacDonald says and then hear what the narrator says.
In the mouth of Ramsay MacDonald, Britain's Prime Minister, the age of appeasement was born. Its first sacrifice in the cause of peace in our time was to be the Emperor Haile Selassie.
I wonder if you understand that. The man says, according to Ramsey MacDonald, the age of appeasement had begun. So they're trying to appease Italy and whoever. And he's showing you clearly that the age of appeasement began with Haile Selassie. The first sacrifice. That's what the narrator just said. The first sacrifice in the cause of appeasement was to be the Emperor Haile Selassie.
Its first sacrifice in the cause of peace in our time was to be the Emperor Haile Selassie.
Cause of peace, pardon me. So appeasement has begun. And the first sacrifice in the cause of peace, which never really came, was the Emperor Haile Selassie I. Why am I stressing that? I'm just showing you that the emperor's situation was seen to the world. This is news speaking. The emperor's situation was seen to the world as a sacrifice. The emperor was seen as a sacrificial lamb, not necessarily in religious sense or biblical sense, but just in a realistic sense, in a metaphorical sense. Yeah. But yet still, obviously, that is why it can be seen theologically. That's why it can be seen through scriptural ways. That's why it can be seen, if you want to say, religiously. Because the emperor is fulfilling all of these religious promises. And prophecy is fulfilled through history. So the historical reporters now the play-by-play commentators, BBC is telling you that Haile Selassie I was the first sacrifice at the hands of the leaders of the world. He was sacrificed, and that is what we, to use the term, preach. When we say from the 5th of May 1936 to the 5th of May 1941, what we talking about? The crucifixion of Christ, the sacrificial lamb, and then his resurrection. And if you understand the history even given here, that is exactly what the narrator himself is saying. Let us listen to this now.
In which we live, your imperial majesty
Listen to this.
is an age of paradox.
In his brand new Africa Hall, Haile Selassie presided at innumerable meetings of his new revolutionary colleagues. He became the great African father figure.
He became the great African father figure. Listen to this.
The great African peacemaker.
The great African peacemaker, just like what we spoke about in our previous program.
In the Congo,
In the Congo, in Biafra,
Morocco and Algeria.
in Morocco, in Algeria.
It was a strange apotheosis for the King of Kings.
Listen to this. Strange apotheosis. He's going to say the king he didn't always succeed in something. But
He
listen.
didn't always succeed,
Yeah.
but his voice commanded respect.
Listen to this point.
Because he alone in Africa had been both victim and victor.
Because he alone in Africa had been both victim and victor. For him alone in Africa had been both victim and victor. And when you can take that understanding, you see again that whole typology of the crucified, the suffering Savior, the resurrected Messiah, the only one to go. He alone, that's what the news just say. You listen to the news today. He alone had been victim plus victor in Africa. Listen to the play-by-play report of Haile Selassie I during this time. As I said, this documentary was done in 1970. You know, this is even before the emperor went to the Knights of the Garter ceremony. But yet still, just like how BBC would do a documentary today, they use clips of 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, in this case down to 40 and 50 years ago, of even when Haile Selassie was a child, and they're just doing an extensive, you know, documentaries, about an hour long, 50 minutes long documentary presentation on Haile Selassie I. So that's what it was.
Who want the world and would like it now? They're the upper and nether millstone.
No.
The officers. As the new
In sealing up here,
power. Keep him company now.
as I said, I know everybody may have seen the documentary, but to really dissect what the narrator is saying, and when you understand, like what we just pointed out, it gives you a clear vision of how the world was looking at Haile Selassie I. Straight up. And the thing is too, you know, remember, this is someone they were trying, it's a propaganda video, brother, trying to talk some kind of things and make the you know, poor people in Ethiopia and people starving, all of that in the same video. Yeah, man. What do you think? But it's just that the truth still has to come out for what it is, the
And
truth.
then, the essential solitude of his life on the tightrope of power must grow more oppressive every year. On one side, there's still the old Ethiopian world of feudal power and tradition.
On one side, there's still the old Ethiopian world of feudal power and oppression.
On the other, there's the new challenge of his own reforms, the educated youngsters and the
On the other, there's the new challenge of his own reform, the educated youngsters who want the world and they want it now. That's a true statement.
modern army officers who want the world and would like it now.
The educated youngsters and the army officers who want the world and they want it now. So he's saying that there were so many things on the plate for Haile Selassie I. There were so many things on the plate for the emperor. You know, he had the old people that he was battling with, the old ways, the feudal system and all of that, especially when it comes to land reform. And he had the youngsters, as the narrator says, the educated youngsters, those that he himself, Haile Selassie, sent off to college to become this and that, and some of them came and had high positions even in the army. You know, yeah. And he was somewhat between them.
They are the upper and nether millstones, which have ground many a good man exceeding small.
This is a key statement. The king said they wanted the world and they wanted it now. We spoke about that in the previous program. And he says now they are the upper and nether millstone that grounded many a great man exceeding small, especially in this time. What does that mean? The upper and nether millstone. So when you have a mill, when you're grinding in the mill, you have the stone, the grinding stone, the upper and nether millstone. So whatever the grinding process is, when you're grinding something, let's just say we're grinding corn. We're going to pulverize the corn until it becomes corn flour or corn meal. Give thanks.
As what Mexican people call it, masa.
Huh?
Masa. That's what the Mexican people call cornmeal.
Oh, masa. Okay. So, oh, there you go.
It's used to make tacos too.
Wow. And burritos, I believe. Not burritos, we call it tortilla.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go again. Learning every day, give thanks for the knowledge of the younger ones. I didn't know that. So, yes. So, the upper and nether millstone would have taken the corn and grind it to dust. So what the analogy or what the narrator is using is to show you that the youngsters, the educated youngsters, the army officers, the older ones from the other generation who have their own desires and demands and they want it now, they were like pressure on the emperor, let's put it that way. And they were rubbing him from every side. They were like the upper and nether millstone. That's what I'm saying. That have ground many men and leaders in this time exceedingly or exceeding, depending on the true grammar, exceeding small. Exceedingly small, whatever you want to put it. We'll say exceedingly something, exceeding small. But the point is that the pressure from your own subjects was so much so that many a great ones fell because of that. And that's what the narrator is saying. Haile Selassie I was going through as well. But hear this.
Especially in this century.
Especially in this century. But hear this. Hear this.
To have survived them for the better part of 55 years in power.
To have survived them for the better part of 55 years in power
is something unequaled by any ruler in the world today.
Listen, is something unequal to any ruler in the world today. Unequal, BBC, to any ruler in the world today.
No wonder the Lion of Judah has become one of the living legends of our time.
No wonder that the Lion of Judah has become one of the living legends of our time. And I do dare say, the fact that no leader in the world today can be compared according to Mr. BBC, and how the king outstand and outlast these nether millstones, the millstone itself grind away before you could even chip the king. That's what the BBC, the rater, is saying there. So to me, he's more than one of the living legends. He is the legend of legends, in the same way as he is the King of Kings. And I say this from my heart to anybody that hold the emperor to their heart. Lose not faith at all. Trust me. No matter what you hear anybody say, you are in the best position. Your soul is correct. Your spirit is safe with Negus and Negas. I am positive about that. Enough said. If you know your Bible and you do not know your history.
The knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery.
And there is a third part that is coming as well. That is for sure. And remember, it takes some realize to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Holy Emmanuel lies.
Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
And before you go, remember, leave your comments and answer the questions for the Kiswahili word of the day. Yes. Blessed love.
Give thanks and praise for life, Selassie is alive. Yeah man, the land of the priests.
Newcastle Hill, the Stonehenge of the Caribbean.
2018 Winter Solstice Experience. Join us in Sun City, Antigua from Tuesday the 18th to Monday the 24th day of December. Come and bask in the mystic of the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. Come and experience sun, sea, sand, and megalith. Spend 7 days and nights in the heart of the Caribbean. Visit our national heritage sites, meet and greet our people, sample the local fruits and produce, plus the beach, banquets, lectures, yoga, and of course, Greencastle Hill. Greencastle Hill, Mount Anu.
Save our national treasure.
Subscribe to the Mystic Vibrations Shock of the Hour program today and never miss another episode. The Shock of the Hour is a Radio Anu exclusive program produced every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. By now, I am sure that you are aware that all our programs are packed with information, inspiration, mystic vibrations, as well as hot button topics. Every evening we enter into a different dimension, even if it is a part 2 of the previous program, whether it's history or mystery, biology or philosophy, domestic affairs or the locks of your hair. The mystic vibration is sure to bring something new and interesting to the table every evening. So never miss another episode again. Subscribe to the Shock of the Hour now. And don't forget your Kiswahili word of the day and your daily scientific fact. So, to subscribe, give us an email, priestisaac27@gmail.com, or call or WhatsApp us today. Area code 1268-728-3162. The Shock of the Hour. Never miss another program. And a special note to all our new subscribers. All our new subscribers will receive a special copy of the DVD documentary, full length, The Night of the Black Tiger, The Divinity of Marcus Messiah. Alafia to each and every one. Salamta and blessed love. Honorable Priest Isaac here. It is with great joy that I am happy to announce to you that I have officially released my first ebook, Anu Ancient and Modern Revisited.
This is the continuation process of our easy-to-read books. Within the pages of Anu, Ancient and Modern Revisited, we take the time to show you the spiritual connection with the island of Antigua and Heliopolis in Kemet in Egypt, with the island of Antigua and the legendary continent of Atlantis. We also highlight Green Castle Hill, also known as Mount Anu, which is known as the Stonehenge of the Caribbean, with the countless of megaliths that align with the movements of the heavens. This is a must-read for all those who are students of the esoteric realms, astronomy, geology, and ancient sites. Of course, to get a copy of your book, all you have to do is to contact us at area code 1268-728-3162. Call, text, or even WhatsApp. Or you can email us at priestisaac27@gmail.com to get a copy of your ebook and Ancient and Modern. It is an easy to read book, may appear light, but it is extremely heavy. Yes,